Most people think that if their AI agent fails or their output is bad, that they didn't provide enough context, but this is 90% of the time just wrong. Most of the time, it's a skill issue, not yours, but the skill that you provide to the AI. If you don't tell the AI how to do the task exactly, then you will get a generic output, most likely. Today, I'm going to show you how I implemented the skill into my prompt SaaS software. So I'm building my SaaS that is generating modular prompts, and the skill is an integral part of it, and a very important one at that. Let us start. Okay, to showcase you a little bit what we are actually doing. The context part we have done in the last video. This is how we build from persona, the product, and the company. So 3 different modules which can be exchanged as needed. From that we build the context. But when we have the context and only the task, so only what to do and for who and for what we are doing it, we still don't know how to do it, and we still are going to get some generic responses from the AI. If we want to have good responses, then we have to tell the AI how to write a good Amazon description, for example, if this is the skill which we are doing, or how to write a good Amazon title or marketing text or whatever we are doing. So the skill describes how to do something. What are the constraints? What are the examples? What are the rules? For example, if we talk about Amazon descriptions, we might say that it has maximum of 2000 characters and explain how actually write a good Amazon description that sells. I separated the skill from the context because I want to exchange it as well. The context is the base information for who are we doing it, who is the client, what is the product, what is the brand, what is the tone, and so on and so on. The skill, how to do it, how many characters does it have, how does a good description in this case look like, or whatever the skill is. Some rules, some examples, some constraints, and so on. And the task, what are we going to do? It can be vague, because when we have the skill and the context, then the task doesn't have to be that detailed anymore, because the whole prompt is already detailed enough. Back in the app, the dashboard is still some placeholders, not so important for now. Skills is very simple table. If we go to add skill, we get a very simple form. What is interesting about the form is this button here, generate with AI. If we press this one, we are going to get this field to type in our topic. What actually will happen in the background is we will do a whole research about the topic that we write here. So we can be a little bit vague. We can write, I want to create a Amazon description. And that's it. That's already enough. If we press generate, the app is going to send a request directly to our n8n workflow. I will show you later how it runs. This is now just to showcase how it works. Let's jump into the code. I will show you a short rundown. I'm not going too deep today. Last week I showed you how the context thing works. Now I'm going to show you how the skill thing works. If we press the button here, so we put in the topic, press the generate button, what actually happens in the background is we are calling this handleGenerateAsync function, which is going to await for the generate function coming from the use skill generation consumable. The use skill generation is actually just exporting the functions. This is the generate function. What it does, it sets the state to loading, so we get a full page loader again, and it just generates the skill. What actually happens in the back end is the function which is called in the back end. This is the research function. It takes the request, it validates the topic, so it has at least 10 characters, because we have to have something to research. If it's less than 3 characters, then it's a little bit too vague. Now we have again our n8n service. The n8n service has a function called, or a method called, send to skill research. It takes the topic and sends it to n8n. Now, if the result is null, because this function might return actually null, so if the result is null, then we are going to return an error. If it's not null, we are just handing JSON object back to the front end, and the front end is filling out the form. So the front end is putting in information in this field. Our n8n workflow, this is where the magic happens. When we press generate, the n8n agent catches the topic here. It goes first to the skill decomposer. So if the topic is vague, the skill decomposer has to be a reasoning model where DeepSeek V3 is just great for it, and it's quite cheap. That's why I've chosen to use it here. The Decomposer, I can show you the prompt. It has to explicitly do some isolation and some reasoning about what we actually need. Input was just a simple make me an Amazon description. This is what it outputs. So it takes the primary domains, it generates some sub-skills, some success criteria, key constraints, common failures, and so on and so on. So it describes exactly all the information that we need from our prompt engineer. Our prompt engineer takes all the information and builds the prompt out of it. The Gemini 3 model is generating our prompt through the prompt engineer. So this comes in, this is our prompt that comes out. This prompt is specifically generated to make a research. This research is done by Perplexity. So we get the prompt, this is just a user message, this is passed to Perplexity. Perplexity makes a research and returns, as you see, a lot of information. One thing to note about the Perplexity researcher, setting the temperature down is quite necessary so we don't get hallucinations. We don't want it to be too creative. I just want to have straight up facts in my skill. For this case, less is better. Now we have our research distiller. So we are taking whole long thing and we are removing all the stuff that is not needed. This is all this step does. And the next step is the skill creator. It takes the information and then it puts it in a format that we can use in the front end. It wraps it in some skills. It actually looks like this. This is our XML structure that we want to have. So you have your name, you have your mental model, call principles, execution rules, and so on and so on. This whole thing is just sent back as simple JSON back to the app. What the app does is just filling out this edit field. I have pinned all the information. I don't want to run it again. It's taking too much time. So first we have to execute the workflow because we are still in testing mode. So this is not, the workflows are not online yet. Normally it will just run the workflow and there will be a listener in the background, but now we don't have it set it up. Execute the workflow from research skill webhook. This is it. Now it waits here for information. We can type in actually anything because the information is pinned either way, so it will not do the research either way. So when we press generate, boom, we get the information, the skill back. This is exactly the skill as we wanted it. We just have to put in the name. Yeah, that's the skill. We have some good examples, some bad examples, some quality checklist, and so on and so on. So we have a very detailed skill about how to write Amazon product descriptions. Just have to add a name to the database if we want to, some tags, save it, and then our skill is done. We can also change it because this is just a edit field. Okay, thank you very much for tuning in. This is all I wanted to talk about. The skill is a very important part of our prompt because it tells the AI exactly how to do something to be successful. Without it, we will get generic outputs. With it, we can guide the AI to show it how a good output should look like. If you liked it, like and subscribe. Next time I'm going to talk again about my workflow because some things have changed. The AI got way better. And it would be not smart, in my opinion, to not use it. So stay tuned for that. See you next time. Bye-bye.